Wow. Hey, Samer.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Oh, well, things in Cincinnati.
That's okay. That's very good.
It gets hot there, right?
It's
Not too bad.
Cincinnati is famous with Cincy weather, like ups and downs.
Well, you
They
know,
call it,
Chicago can get hot in the summer.
yeah,
That's not too far from Chicago.
yeah, exactly. So, do you promote me or yet? Today we will have,
People are coming late.
yeah,
Oh,
today
okay.
we have Voralex.
Okay, what's the structure today? What are you gonna do?
The same with different example, different topics, and we will start with the presentation from Voralex.
Oh, who's giving the presentation?
Our artist from Thailand.
Oh, good. Okay, well, I'll just introduce
Voralex,
you
isn't it?
Oh,
Is
Warlex
that,
is gonna speak?
yeah, is that the correct name? Voralex?
Yeah, Warlex.
Voralex. Okay. What Alex?
Great. I just televised her from Mexico.
Okay.
I guess she's getting active. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
She's
Sam,
very,
she's very talented.
yeah, she's very
She
good
she
example.
plays the piano. You won't believe how
Mhm.
good she is. I mean, she's just not a physician that, took a few lessons. She is good on the piano. I don't know how
Yeah.
she found the time. And the artist, she does a lot of our illustrations.
Yeah, that's important part with the new neurosurgery.
Okay. Oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning for her.
Yeah, I think 2 a.m. She said it's around 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I even call that late. Well, not early. It's just late, I guess.
Yeah. That's why we will start with her talk.
Okay. Okay, the people are starting to come now.
Yeah, maybe the delayed presentation or
Yeah,
the
it's
presentation.
funny. Your audience seems to come late. Others come not early, but I mean not this late. These guys wait at the last minute.
Yeah, people sometimes may be busy. Do you promote me, John, so I can add people, or you will
Oh
add
yeah,
them?
yeah. Okay, let me get you there. Is there anybody else that should be a moderator?
Zena, ZENA.
Do you have everybody else that you want to be moderators also? Tiba, is she a helper? Does she look
Yeah.
helpful?
Yeah.
Tiba, you want to co-host?
Hi.
It's a non-paying position.
It's a good position.
That's okay. All you do, if someone comes in and doesn't turn off their mic, you can turn that off, okay, Tiba?
Oh, I didn't think you would actually make me a co-host. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
go to the right. Yeah, we're gonna put you to work. Go to the
Okay.
right, go to where the panelists are and
Yes.
scroll over the options and the 3 dots. It lets you do things there with the guest.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
it
see
allows,
it.
it's intuitive. You can figure it out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Or Alex is there.
Oh, she's in.
Yeah.
Oh,
She still has.
yeah.
Hello, or Alex.
Yeah, you're there, Warlicks, right? You can see her there on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, you're there.
Hi.
Warlicks, boy, you go everywhere. Mexico, Iraq.
Yeah.
What's the story? You busting out?
No, I have to thank them to invited me instead.
Yeah, she has many good connections.
Yes.
Hi, how are Alex? I hope you are doing well.
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Yes.
I will give like a 2-3 minute introduction and general orientation for people. Then we will start directly to your presentation. Because I know it's very late now in Thailand now.
Yeah. Morning. Good morning.
2 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, the dedication.
Yeah,
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. But sorry for mistake last week. So I just asked my friend about like next weekend also they still like have a confusion still. So it's okay. Sorry.
yeah. Do you want to start, John?
Yeah, you ready?
We have 2 minutes more to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, wait 2 minutes.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Try to share the test first?
Yeah, you want to try something?
Yeah. I want to share something first.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, work fine. Okay.
No, you fell off there.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
want- did you wanna test
it's
it?
just a missed call.
Okay. You know, Borlix, I'm looking at PowerPoint to kind of jazz up the presentation. Because I saw that this guy gave a presentation just for Mexico this morning. And his face was on the screen of on top of his PowerPoint. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't in the corner. It was like on the screen on top of it. It was very interesting looking. Let me see if I can get it. We got a minute here. Hold on. Well, actually, I got a screen share of it. Okay. Okay.
I think that some people raise the hands, want to join.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay, real quick. Okay, you see how he's in the corner there, the presenter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on top of the screen. It really is cool looking. Okay, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. This is Dr. John Bennett, televising from Miami Beach, Florida, home of Neurosurgical TV. Today, we have the honor of having SAMER'S in his mentorship program, Neurosurgery mentorship program, which to me is state of the art. It's really ahead of all the mentorship programs I've seen. And she has a great speaker today, Warlix. So I'll let Samer introduce her. Go ahead, Samer.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John, and thank you for the Neurosurgical TV for this opportunity. Yes, this is the sixth session out of 10 from the 9th HOS Neurosurgery mentorship program. And we are now preparing finalizing the programs for the next presentations and the next meetings. And I think I will extend 2 more meetings to be 12 in total, to be as useful as possible to the students. So today we have the honor and to have Voralex. I hope I mentioned the name exactly true. And Voralex, she's very brilliant neurosurgeon with vascular interest, and she's from Thailand, and she's artist. She's in and actually a skillful neurosurgeon. So with that as a background to be added, a passionate and scientist and an active advocate for people, for research, for ideas. So whenever it's possible, I would like to my student, my resident, to see and to learn a little, at least a little bit about her story, because I think it's inspiring for them. So thank you for being here. I know it's too late. It's, I think, 2 a.m. or more in your town. And yeah, thank you for accepting the invitation, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hoss. It's always pleasure.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's okay. I plan to run after this anyway, so it's okay. Okay, so it's been an honor for me to have a talk today. So today my topic is about my arts in neurosurgery. So here we go again. Just finished that last minute. So yes, it's been honor, like, and I really love your poster. It's really art and cute. I used to talk to this conference before. Is like very great conference that prepare for the medical students or even the residents to inspire. But for my talk today, I would like to talk about in another dimensions that okay, you should become to be a great neurosurgeon. You read the books and you should have the skills in the surgery. But besides that, you should like have the work-life balance. Some things like a hobby or something like besides your working fields too. So I would like to talk about what I'm doing. So this is, yeah, I am neurosurgeons and medical illustrators myself, graphic designs. I just filed that I'm working on the illustrations field that not so long ago from like 2019, actually right at the time of the COVID. So yeah, not so long ago. So why, what, and how that I start my career. So normally when we get a textbook or things like that, so maybe, okay, maybe some of you will like to get through and directs to all the text, and you can like, you know, get the main idea from that easily. Or for some people, for example, just like me, maybe it's like, oh my God, I cannot like get the core content from that. So maybe somehow we just look through the illustrations first. So this is one of the illustration book that I like. It's from the Microsurgery of Cerebral Aneurysms that was drawn by the neurosurgery himself, at last by Sentaro Ito, in which I get the copy from my vascular mentor before I finished the fellowships last year. It's really beautiful. It's like hand drawings, really fantastic. So first of all, I would like to start about the brief history of medical illustrations at the neurosurgery itself. Actually, back to time for the timelines of the medical illustrations is back to the caveman. So this is assumes to be the prehistoric first anatomy illustrations. So it's kind of like look like a mammals with a leaf-shaped hearts. So it's assumed that it's the hunting societies where the heart mean like some organ that the cavemen at that time believed that if they put a spear into that and they can kill the mammals. So this cave was found in the cave in Spain. So we assume that is the first anatomical illustrations. And next turn to in the Egypt. Alexandria is the main important cities of the history of medicine, and it's believed have some intellectuals and scientific performance taking place in Alexandria, but however, after the Roman Empire like conquered it, the writings have been lost in most of their knowledge. In the Roman Empire itself, they have a Galen. Galen, he is a physician who practiced in Rome. So, but most of his work, he just, but he did not illustrate with drawing or sketch in his writing. So most of his anatomy will based on dissects of the gladiators. And after that, for the Renaissance, it's kind of like, you know, reborn of the everything's culture, art itself. So in this Renaissance, so we have lot of famous artists like Raphael's, Michelangelo's, and Da Vinci's. For the Da Vinci's, he's the most original and perspective anatomist, but his draw is not only for the anatomy itself. He just like combine his other techniques about like physics and engineering and architectures to show the human bodies too. For the Andrea Vesalius, he's famous about he first completes the system descriptions of the books. He's an anatomist and physician himself, and he's the first person who believed that the surgery has to be grounded with the illustrations. And it's some of his illustrations, black and white. And of course, Frank Nectar. Yeah, he's a famous one, and he's many of the reference of my illustrations now. So his work, it's not only show the human anatomy, but he also good at the drawing and illustrate the physiologies and pathologies of the disease too. And Max Brodels, he a German artist who have a magnificent work and a lot of famous and very beautiful surgical illustrations. He established the first school of medical illustrations in Johns Hopkins. Yeah, his work is like really amazing and should like to. And of course, our father of modern medicine, modern neurosurgery, Harvey Cushing himself. He not only the famous like neurosurgeons or the great, he also the greatest artist himself. And up to now, even many artwork related to neurosurgical fields is not illustrated by the artists, but sometimes it's also illustrated by the surgeons or neurosurgeons. So it means that art is the limit talent, so any one of you can be one. So one might begin with philosophy, what would end with medicines, or start with medicines, or find oneself in philosophy. But for me, that one might begin with medicines, what would end with art, or start with art and find themselves in medicine. So just like The Art of Existence by Michelangelo. Do you see what some of people like criticize that many of his art like he's like hidden some of the medical illustrations inside. So this like he hidden the brain inside. So what is art is useful for the medical educations? The first thing is about the learning process. Illustrations in the okay, for the learning process, the illustrations in medical take aids in the learning process. Medical illustration is an artist who explains the medical concept through art. The medical illustrator must draw the pains to the human body with scientific precision and at the same time bring artistic creativities to his work. So it's help for the problem-solving skill and special awareness of architects. Not only that, art can be the teachings and discussing purpose. A drawing can highlight the important features of structure for teachings and discussions proposed. A graphic represents of any medical subject is effective tools in communicating medical knowledge to tell a story through that drawing. It's also the traditional arts and combined with the modern technologies. For example, like art can like help for the video or exciting surgeries and to be synergistic work with the traditional illustrations to enhance the surgical learning experience for the students. And arts can help solve the communication dilemmas in medical educations. So visualizations is the keys to understand. Hence, visual aids are fundamental to learning process. So as the medical and scientific information exponential expands, as a method of visual creations continue to grow and evolve, information is distributed to doctor, patients, and the public proliferate. Medical illustrations take those concepts and methods, so make it like simple and complex, bring it together and bring them to life, bring them to art. So art in medical education is held in this like process that I'm talking. So Okay, let's talk about myself. So, yeah, I did not include it yet. So this is my website. If you are interested in my work and want to do so, actually, I did not intend to start my work as the illustrator myself, but I just do it alongside of my training. So art is helped me to tell me to study, help me to remember, help me to pass the test, and of course help me to be a good surgeon and remember all the procedures. So this is my working experience. So these are the book illustrations so far that I illustrated for. But this have a few upcoming one that we're going to see it soon. But I'm not only illustrated for the neurosurgical textbook, but also other fields too, in which it's quite challenging for me, like vascular specialties, plastic specialty, general specialties. Yeah. So this is an example. I illustrate for the Thai textbook and some chapters for the international textbooks too. Yeah. So this is my first textbooks that I do the entire of the illustrations and designs a front page. But this one is like black and white illustrations. Yeah, this is kind of like cute style. Yeah, so just sketch. So the reference might be from the some of the medical illustrations that have existed and just like apply to it, and some is that I have two sketches from the real patients. So this is another text that I illustrate from. So I just like step up and decide for the front page and for the insides too. So everything's like decided by the what the person need. Yeah, but so, I mean, even if for the vascular specialty, but it's I mean, it can relate to us. Yeah. So it helps me to understand in other fields too. Yes, this is another book. As also the traditional like illustrations too. So when you do it, you can see it, and it's kind of like help you to remind about the anatomies and common. And the useful of having the doctor or surgeons to do illustrations, of course, they say that they do not have time to explain much, and sometimes we can correct them too that if they want to ask for some things that is not realistic, so we just can like comment that, oh, maybe it should be this way. Yeah, and the last is book with the professor Shinichi Yoshimura. And also the article illustrations, like, so do illustrations as the people ask, so you can just like so what I work like, it's very interesting work. Just so before we will start a work, so the person who want me to illustrate for, he just like contact me, and then we just have a personal talk. And the interesting is so that I can learn from them that what they're going to write about, and because those papers are going to launch, so it's kind of like open a new door for me to learn a new things and exciting and creating things for them that what it should be. Yeah, easy for the reader. And it's one of my work that I proud of. So this one I collaborate my work with the Women Neurosurgery societies for the contribution of women neurosurgeons in Asian and Australasians. I contribute some information from my countries, share and write some of the articles and also the illustration itself. For this picture, I name it as surgical mind, in the woman field, just like, yeah, in our mind, we just like, think about anatomies and approach and things like complicated. And this one I name is window to neurosurgery. It's one mean that in different window, it's mean like can be like different approach. What is should be the different like angle or view or approach that we can access into the lesion. So yeah, I explained to you before, it is like surgical mind. In the progressive neurosurgery contribute to movement of neurosurgeons. Yeah. And yes, this one I was asked by the orthopedic surgeons. He wants me to illustrate the procedure that he will do the endoscopic access to odontoid screw insertion. This one is a combination pack of the illustrations that he just sent me the real picture of him doing this with the real patient. So, but he want me to apply to illustrate the anatomy like a skull and make people who see this procedure understanding more that what it should be the angle of the screw, what is should be the instrument that he's going to use. This one is I was asked to do the surface anatomy of the TSSS for the last article for the graduated neurosurgical students. So I think that he do the paper about the location where he should put the first craniotomies when we want to do the retrosigmoid approach. This one I was asked from the anesthesiologist. They have a study and write a book about how to have a safe anesthesia technique in the obesities. This one is also a challenging thing too. So I work with the interventions radiologist, and she's going to write a book about the cavernous sinus plexus. Yes, but she say that the original like illustration is only 2D, and okay, it's kind of like, you know, a very like triangular and a square, so it's not look interesting. So she want me to create some things new for her. So at first draft they draw for her, it's kind of like a tube, so I do it in the 3D, but she told me that she explained that the complexities in the cavernous is not like that, it's kind of like a plexus, so it's come to these like illustrations. So this one I was inspired by like the cranioplasty that I use the titanium measuring things like the cranioplasty type that I like in doing this right now. Yes, I also do the peripheral nerve. This one is for the actually for the ENT, but also apply for the endoscopic transsphenoid approach too. But so he just like tell me what the operations that he want to do and the angles and the positions of the model that he want me to illustrate for. This one I'm not also was asked like for the new like technologies of some the medical company that they're going to create the new like instrument for the neurosurgeons to use the new robotic technique. So he just like, you know, explained to me that okay, this is the new like equipment that he's going to introduce to the market, but he want me to imagine that how it's going to look like if we use it in the real patient. So I have to like imagine for him like illustrate it for like different angle, different point of view. And this one that it's my future plan that I want to do that I think that for the operative note, in which is really important for me, just like when we are younger surgeons, of course we was asked to write down the operative note, but for me, I do not like to write in the text. I like to draw it, and then I will think about what I'm going to write down letters to make it like perfect, because of course English is not, you know, our main language. So so that's why I mean drawing, it's helped me a lot to like remember all the procedure and especially the anatomy. So right now that I try to do with my students, that I told them that you can do a sketch and the first draft, you don't have to scare that it look like ugly, but you can decorate it later and make it more fantastic like the magazine. So I mean, you can have make your own textbooks too, something like that. So if you guys want to see more about my work, you can follow me in the Instagram. But I mean, sorry, right now I mean my Instagram it's have my personal life too, but it's okay. Yeah. Okay, so I also the Asian editorial board of the Asian Journal of Arts. Work for the, of course, I'm a Neurosurgical TV members and Ignite journals, and other works I proud of this. I was do the entire of the Royal College of Thai Surgeons. They have a projects that they want the illustrations that it belong to Thai, and whoever want to use that with any other like objectives can use that from their pool. So I was asked to draw the whole like anatomy organ for them. So it's called a basic science project. So I just finished that. And yeah, I was asked to do art exhibitions for the stem cell awareness. And okay, I just do some of the neurosurgery cocktail logos, and okay, I work with the neuroanatomy TV. Oh yeah, so this is the project that I do for the general surgeons. Yeah, so it's finished for August. So where do I start? So I just start with everybody. I'm not born artist myself. I did not do the sketch when I was young and continue doing this along my side. No, I just do it just do the lecture, and of course when you feel bored you just scratch and sketch something on your paper, right? So I just start with the paper sketch and make a short note, that's all, in an anatomy class or the lecture note itself. And then when I turned to be I was trained to be a surgeon myself, so I just sketch on the operative note, and then I turned to digital illustration. So this is my original of the paper sketch, in which mostly from the anatomy class. So when you do it, I mean, at the beginning, everything was hard, of course, but I mean, it was worth that. I mean, yes. So not only the pencil, simple one, you don't have to need a fancy, or if you just feel that artistic emotions, you can come back home and use some other type of colors too. It can help you to relax too. Yes, this is some of my sketch while doing in the anatomy class. And yes, and then in the operative note, when we assist the teacher, we was asked a question. So sometimes we answer is right, sometimes we answer it wrong. But I think that when we answer is wrong, we will remember it's more clear. So but we cannot have times to at that time we do not have time to have a perfect snapshot of the iPhone. So what we can do at that time is we have to remember our picture by our eyes. So for me, I just try to remember, and once that I finish assist the case, I just come out and sketch the most important finding things first, and just makes more interesting by just maybe adding something else, maybe the important patient's position, because maybe sometimes if you become a surgeon, you certainly have your own patients, you have to do the positions by yourself too. So the more that you keep doing it every day, and you will it's like a surgical skill, art is like a surgical skill too, and you will learn it, know it. And when you do it every day, it will become like a pattern, like when you do the Turian approach, and you draw the Turian approach, so you will know that where should I draw the optic nerve, where should I draw the ICA or something like that. Yeah, so it's an example of some of the operative note. You see that not so many text, because I like to draw it first and then put the text later. Yeah, and when I feeling I want to make it more beautiful, so just color it after. So, and then right after that, they have the tablet that can help me to make life it's more easy. Yeah. So I just switch to the paper and pens or pencils into the digital operative note. So this is I think it's my first digital operative note on the total walt corrections in the cranial synostosis. Yes. So just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, make it fun like a cartoon. It can help you to remember. And once that you just, even I did not do these operations for long, but when I come back here again, so I just, okay, oh yeah, at the time we do the zigzag like incisions, and then we will pour it up, and okay, that's one is the burr hole that we should do, and then this is the the cutting bone that we supposed to do. Yeah, this is the some of the illustrations that, okay, it maybe it's my first like brain tumor thing. So I just like my teacher have the technique to use the retractor. So I just like try to imitate it so that I can remember next time like how he like to do the retractor like crisscross like that. Yeah, and posterior approach. Yeah, but sometimes if I want to go and present the mortality and morbidity case to the audience, sometimes drawing or make a picture is make them more clear. Like if we want to talk about another fields of surgeons like vascular surgeon or general surgeon, maybe if you just talk like, okay, we do the curvilinear incision like this, but maybe they cannot like understand what we're talking about. So of course, picturing or imaging or illustration is make them more like understand and not ask so much question. So what do I prefer drawing in the operative note? So it's faster, clearer, and it helps for mental and imagination exercise. It have more creativity and it's helpful for memorizing. So how do I find drawing is useful for my work? Besides that, things for especially, so it can useful for like pre and post operative report. It helps in the surgical planning, help for memorizing, and choose the proper instruments, and it's relaxed and fun. Also, before I go into explain more about why it's like helpful in pre and operative note. So this is the program that I used to use for the digital drawing. If you have the tablet, so for the GoodNote itself, I think in that time it's free, but I do not know that now it's free or not. But I just used the GoodNote applications for the take note, and it's also nice to do the like do the operative note like this too. For the Sketch Pro, it's good for the whoever like to draw like a sketch. Yeah. Yeah, so this is one is the picture it will look like if you draw from the Sketch Pro. This one, oh yeah, this one is Sketchbook. The benefit of that is free. I think it's still free now, and it also can create a very beautiful illustration too. But I used to use this one, but I mean not anymore now. So this is the illustrations that it will look like when you use the Sketchbook. I currently use the Procreate Pro. The benefits of that, another thing that I like about it is have the animation existed. Yeah, so sometimes like, okay, maybe the 2D is also okay, but you can make it more like fantasy when you do the presentations by making like the animation. So it's make it more clearer. Yeah, so this is my evolution of arts. I mean, it's before about like 2018 or 19. So it's kind of like rough sketch at that time. So, okay, this is one is I'm going to explain about why I think that to drawing it's help for like to do the surgical planning. So when I start to do the neurovascular training, so my teacher told me to look at the CTA for the patients or maybe angiogram before we operate, and he just like, you know, take a test by, okay, you just draw the operative field, how we're gonna see in the operative field, and then you just draw it first. For the important anatomy that we're supposed to be scared of too and aware of. And so, and not only that, you just like, you know, okay, so pick the right clipping or the instrument, and what's the hand that you're going to use to clip, which position or something like that. So plan. And when I draw it, so send it to him, so he's going to keep it. And when we finish the case, so we're gonna draw it again. So it's like, you know, the tell all the answer, and then he will like show you the pre-operative and post-operative picture, and will show you that, oh, okay, so if it's a match, so it's okay. So maybe like, okay, we have like fully understanding about the anatomies and surgical anatomy about that. But if we have something wrong, so he can help me to explain how it's going, and maybe he will find if we have those type of case more, so he will like, you know, take it slow and then explain more about that. Yes, this is another things that if I have more time, I will do it more like nice. So for the beginners, you don't have to be scared. I told you that you can have, I do not like do it perfect at the first time. Nobody like, you know, do it perfect at the first time. Just like, you know, do the rough sketch, just like use the very rough one. And if you have time, you can just color it later. It's okay. So another thing that it helped that, I mean, maybe if you cannot catch up, maybe if you have the picture from the interoperatives and maybe you want to review it, you can try to keep drawing from the interoperative. And if you keep doing, if you keep doing that again and again, and you will remember that what it should be like that, what you will actually see in the surgical wheel. And yeah, you can see that I add the clippings too. Yeah, so it's gonna be like that. And then okay, after you can add the color for that. And with you can use animation like to have the actual clip or no clips too, or maybe you can like imagine to use like, oh, can I use another type of clip or some things. Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's another illustration that I was asked to do. Yeah. So oh yeah, but this one I want to do the operative note about anterior communicating artery aneurysm clipping, but I just make it too far. So actually the operative note is back there. Yes. Oh yeah, but oh okay, I remember why I do this thing. So I at the beginning for the surgeon, you okay, maybe there's many things for you to concern, not only for the surgical field anatomy, but you know the about your positions, about the way that you put your hands, about the angle or distance between the scope is also important too. So when I was a fellowship, I was like mentioned a lot when maybe my hand is too far, maybe my hand is not steady or something like that. So I just, oh yeah, I draw it to remind myself to what it's supposed to be like. Very small thing, but important. So, oh yeah, this was I talking about, I think that to make it animations, it's help too. So this one that I think that we do the clipping of the ICA or blush PCOM, and we use the suction decompression technique. So I just before the test, so I just like, you know, do the illustrations to help me to remember. So this is my evaluations of the evolutions of my illustration. So these are the pictures that I was asked to draw before I go to do the surgeries, to imagine like, okay, what it should be what I see. And then I will like remind myself when I got the answer after I finished the case that, oh, maybe what I'm thinking it's wrong or something like that. So it helps you learn. So yeah, I mean, if you continue doing that, even like in a few years, like you can see the total different. Yeah, okay, so not only the, the drawing that I do, so I try to cooperate with the students. I have experience by teaching encourage the student, let's say that the art class in which I try to improve their operative note drawing, and you can see that only a couple hours, they also can do like really beautiful illustrations too, just only know the technique. Yeah. Yeah, so but what I do now, okay, it's not only the 2D, but I try to do the 3Ds too. But it's okay. There's some now, so there's many technologies to help that. But okay, maybe start something with basic, just drawing is also okay. So this is the I used this program. It's called Adobe AR. So you can use your 2D illustrations and you can shine onto things that you want. So you can just like sometimes if you're bored to read about neuroanatomy, you can just like do it too by your like AR. Yeah, so yeah, so I just like start by like fast like drafting too, and then just color it. And this one is I think I do this picture because I want to oh sorry. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So I is when the time that the basla unwritten. So just like to keep creeping. Oh no, for this one is for like endovascular training that I do. So I just like try to remind myself about the equipment I'm going to use. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so while you can recall yourself when you just do the conference and you just like it's for the illustrations can help you to recall what is the important anatomies. And yeah, this is very standard of the type of the illustration. So if we keep continue that, it's gonna turn like a pattern. Just like when if you was asked to do the surgical field of the let's say pre-communism, so you just have to start with this type of like view, of course. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Okay, Samer.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. I can see the progression and I try to count how many illustrations you demonstrate through those around like 29 minutes. And I reach 130, then I stop counting. So because what I understand is that, yeah, each of this illustration, however, sometimes it's simple, there is a huge idea behind, there is a time of thinking before putting it on paper. So even the same thing for the iPad. So I appreciate that, appreciate your time, and yeah, I can see how it's helpful for everybody. I think you give it a very nice presentation, exploring all the possible aspects. And yeah, you are definitely a master of this now. As I start, I can see the progression. I'm really proud of what you said and what you represent now. Thank you a lot, Alex. I would listen to the question. If any student have a question, raise your hand. We will call one by one. We can take like 10 minutes for a question if you have. So raise your hand and to take your question. Yeah, Osama, start. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Osama Dalal, a fourth-year medical student from RC Bahrain. Thank you so much, Dr. Warlocks, for the presentation. I was actually like really fascinated with the illustrations you've made. Like as a person who recently started getting into art and drawing, like I hope I could reach the level that you've displayed throughout your medical illustrations. So like on average, how long does it take for you to complete like one piece?
Oh, it depend. Like, as I told you that I did not like actually want to be the medical illustration itself, but it just like okay, like next Tuesday I'm going to operate on the microvascular decompressions on the trigeminal neuralgia. So of course when you become a surgeon yourself, you will be like nervous that every time. So you're gonna like, you know, go back and read again, and you go like plan ahead. So maybe 1 or 2 hours, but it depends. As I told you, if you maybe the first time if you do it, you can have the reference first and you just like try to sketch from that. And you keep doing like every day, little by little, just like I've just started to do, change my habit about running. So just do little by little, and then it will shorter time, just like your surgical skill too. Practice make perfect.
And thank you so much for the answer. And if you don't mind me asking, when did you start like drawing? And are there like any tips and tricks that help you out when it comes to visualizing the image and then just like using your skills to put it on paper?
Oh, yeah, I think that everybody start drawing since they was young because we have art class, right? But okay, I think that when we were in med school, so we forced to study, and for me, I think that many in different people we have different techniques in their learning process. But for me, I'm not the type of person that to read one chapter one time and I remember. For me, I have to read, write it, take a short note, and drawing like a diagram too. So actually diagram I was count as the illustrations too. So I think I will start since it was like when I in the med school too. So yeah, so I start by that. And the another interesting thing is when you start to assist your teacher in the surgical field. As I told you that back in my time, I do not have the times to like, oh, excuse me, teacher, can I just go out from the field and take a picture? What do I see? No, but you have to remember in your head, and maybe you have to come back and look again in the textbook, and it's different in the each picture. Maybe you just take a picture or maybe sketch, so it's can help too. Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Yeah,
Yes,
Abdulaziz.
Samer, I'd like to make an observation in Warlocks.
Yeah.
You know, when I was, I wasn't always hooked on neurosurgery. When I was looking for a platform and a specialty, it seemed that neurosurgeons were further ahead with their Zoom. And my theory is that neurosurgeons think more three-dimensionally than most doctors. That's my theory about why they took to Zoom more than other specialties. Is that a good one, Warlocks?
Okay, I have one thing for Dr. Horst. I mean, okay, we will not going to, I'm not going to, I cannot say myself that I a good surgeon, but I also like only be a student, so you can comment me anytime, okay?
Yeah, no way. Yeah, you are doing great. We are trying to do our best, and that's it. That's our task today and every day. I think, yeah, your progression is by its own a big message, and this is quite inspiring for new generation. We have a question from Abdulaziz. And
Yes.
yeah.
My name is Abdulaziz Al Ahmed. I'm an intern from King Faisal University from Saudi Arabia. First of all, Alex, I would like to thank you, and I would like to thank every medical illustrator all over the world, because you are really making our lives easier. But I have just a simple question for you, Dr. Alex. For me, I consider myself as a professional procrastinator. So how you could manage your time in order to spend your time with your hobbies? Like for example, whenever I would like to program something or use a programmatic language in computer, I say to myself, there is not enough time. I have to study. So what inspired you in order to start? And thank you.
Oh, okay, that's very good questions. So, but I think it depends. Just like me myself, I think that for one day we have the 24-hour. So, it just depends that how you manage your time. One day have 24 hours. So for me myself, maybe when the time that if you're a medical student, so it's very difficult you to manage. So of course, maybe you have to wake up in the early morning and finish it really late. So I am the morning person myself, so I like to wake up in the morning and maybe read before, maybe just a little bit before I go to do work. And for the lunch time, for the snack time, for me, I just like took that as I told you, that sketch. And then when the time that I took for the color in complete that is maybe Saturday and Sunday that I have more times. Actually, I kind of, I sketch everywhere. So for me, I think that 1 or 2 minutes is also should not be an excuse too for things. Yeah, that was I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Abdulaziz. We have another question from Ahmed. Ahmed Khalifa. Yeah.
Hi, hello. I am Ahmed Khalil. I am a medical student at third stage University of Al Amed in Karbala, Iraq. Firstly, thank you for this presentation. It's amazing presentation. And I have a question. My question is how I start in drawing like this figure from zero.
Oh, I think that like you should not call yourself zero. Maybe how about you send me your sum of sketch that you do, and then I would say it's zero or not. I do not believe it's zero. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you just keep improving. Maybe start with the circle. Maybe today it's not a perfect circle, but you can try okay, Monday circle, Tuesday circle, but you focus to make it more like a perfect circle each day. Maybe you can try for a month and you just compare the first day to the 30 day and see different. Yeah, but I don't believe you. I don't think you want to. You can send me the first sketch and then I will judge that it's zero or not. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think like that. Everybody can have improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I agree with you. Thank you, Ahmed. And now Jafar.
Hello, everyone. This is Jafar Abdul Wahed, fifth stage medical student at Nahra University in Baghdad, Iraq. Thank you for your presentation. Actually, the idea that start doing your drawing for me get emphasized after this presentation. I think I will start, especially after when you explain the effect on the neurosurgical skills, or how it is affect you to improve in the OR. I have, maybe it's a focus question, but I have you mentioned that about the proper instrument. So how it is make you choose the right or the proper instrument, yani, around because of this drawing skills. And thank you a lot.
Okay. The one proper instrument that I think it's clear, it's okay, aneurysm. Like we have the like different type of angle or locations of the aneurysms, right? And you have to imagine before you go there that what the locations or the directions of aneurysms type should be like. So, and it's have many different types of the clipping too. Actually, you should not go into OR with only one plan too. So maybe you can have plan A with the maybe straight clip, maybe. But I mean, I just found that the more that I do, that I experience that, yeah, you better have a plan B or maybe plan C, like sacrifice plan C, plan B. Yeah, plan C, plan B, like, or maybe if you clip by only straight clip and it's you just tear the neck, what are you gonna do with that? Maybe you should have the second clip too, or maybe the different angle, or maybe the brain is really swelling and maybe the straight clip is not nice, or maybe sometimes you have to use fenestrations. So maybe plan C should be like what type of the fenestrations clip that you have to put, or maybe what if you have to do the tandem technique. So what type of tandem that you're gonna do too. And maybe plan C, as I told you, everything can happen. So bypass or sacrifice also other plans too. So this is the proper instrument. That's including the other plan that you plan to too. Just like PCOM, giant PCOM aneurysm is, I think it's a good example. Maybe sometimes you have to prepare for the neck too, but some you just do not open the control the neck, or maybe sometimes you have to consult the CVT doctors to prepare to harvest the graft for you or something like that. So just you have to have this plan ahead. I think Dr. Toss know about that.
No, thank you. It's the idea is I get it. It's about imagining more, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jafar. And maybe last question from Hajar. Hajar, she's one of our medical illustration team. She present about her story with the neurosurgery and art 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I think she has something to talk about this nice presentation from our lips. Yeah, Hajar.
Hello everyone, I'm Hajar Ala Ajburi, fourth stage medical student at University of Baghdad. I don't have any question, but I want to say thank you so much, Ulrich, for your presentation. We appreciate your time on this. You are so talented, girl, and your presentation was amazing. As Dr. Hoss said, I also interested in medical illustration, but I'm now in the beginning of my journey, and your presentation really inspired me to work more on this passion. Wish you all the best and hope to see you in person and learn more from your experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Hajar. So that's a conclusion for this nice presentation. I think most of us enjoy it, and I think in different perspective. And yeah, a successful talk is the talk that generate ideas, and I think already many students text me want to start to do medical illustration, and I congratulate you for that. Thank you for your time.
Well, you know, Samer, we may have to increase Warlick's salary. I think we're going to double it. Okay, Warlick?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the best. All the best. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and good night for you.
Oh yes, it's okay.
Thank you.
We surgeon, so it's like it's okay. It's no
Yeah.
more working.
See you
Okay,
again. See you again
see you again
soon, I think.
anytime, doctors, host, anytime
Yeah.
for you. Okay.
You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
very much. We appreciate that. So, and I want that presentation, neurosurgery and art, to be with the Hydro presentation at the same time, but it doesn't matched. So I think for a certain message, yeah, maybe to see these later, to have these perspectives, I think this is very, very important, and how to make all the steps, all the year counting to have such experience. I think, yeah, Oralex is one of the very good example of a passionate, dedicated neurosurgeon. That's very important. I would go through some videos first, then I will have what you already have scheduled from the previous one. We have like 6 points about research. Let's say discussion point about research. I have 6 points from the previous presentation. I delayed it to this one. And we have a little more presentation, and I think I have something very interesting to you for today. At the end, I will put it at the end. I will try to keep all the other steps as soon as possible to be done within 1 hour, if possible. So I will start with the operative video. Let me open this, then I will share with you. If you have any question, please put the question on written. We can answer at the end. We have no problem to extend a little bit time to answer more and more question. Yeah, this one. You know, my first advice always to keep your desktop clean. So I will start with this. Who's the volunteer today? I need few of you just to start with, and then we'll increase and change people. Yeah, Osama. Anyone with can help Osama with this surgery? I didn't see other hands. Ahmed Khalil. Yeah. Is it?
No, sorry. I forgot it.
Yeah, okay. So Zina. And yeah, okay. So Zina and Osama, I will start with you. That's what I can see from those who can raise hand. So first of all, let's ask this. Sorry. I'm not well prepared today. I'm proud of, because I have many things to do, good things here and work. So, like, do you have an idea what's this? if it's from the central nervous system of a patient. If we draw this from the central nervous system of the patient, we will have many differential diagnoses in mind. Let's say from the brain, to make it easier, if I draw this from the brain, what would I expect? Yeah, Zina, do you have anything in mind? Then I will go through others.
No, I don't think I have anything in mind.
Okay. Osama.
It might be cerebrospinal fluid.
That's good start. And okay, other suggestions? Yeah. Anybody can help me, like Tiba, can you help me or to answer, to say the names of those raising hand? Yeah. So,
Yes, we have Taha.
yeah,
raised
Taha,
his hand.
give me your answer. Another name of Taha, maybe Taha cannot open.
I think Jafar was
Yeah,
raising
Jafar.
his hand. Jafar Hassan.
Taha, Jafar, give me suggestions.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
CSF as Osama said.
Who's this?
Taha.
Oh, okay. So, and Jafar.
The fluid is not very clear. Perhaps it's purulent a bit, an infected CSF.
Okay, who's this?
Jafar.
And now we have three Jafar. This is with Jafar.
So I'm Jafar Hassan, Kufa medical
Jafar
graduate.
Hassan. Yeah. Okay,
Najaf,
okay. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So this is maybe infected CSF because it's not clear. Very well said. But yeah, I need more suggestions. Any idea? I don't see anyone raise her hand, so please.
There is also Naba Kurdi.
Yeah, Naba, give me answer.
I think it's Pseudomonas aeruginosa. It's something I read about it recently. I don't think so. But...
Okay, thank you. Another suggestion? Who's raising his hand?
Jafar Abdul Wahid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's CSF, but stained with something. Maybe I know the blood, if it is drained from brain or something like that.
Okay, that's interesting. Next, any other suggestion?
Sadim. Okay.
Yes, this is Sadim Blahid, medical intern from Al Faisal University in Saudi Arabia. I think this is it could be a xanthochromia, like xanthochromic CSF.
Xanthochromic, which means like blood, as Jafar suggested. Okay. Let's go to the answer. So I will cut the sharing screen just to make you focus here, and then we go back to the picture. So that's very interesting. That's very idea initiating thing to start with. If I aspirate something from brain and I have this color, so it depends on how do you describe this. If it's a fluid, so CSF is the most common. Okay, that's a good answer. If it's a yellowish color, so this is not a CSF, this is maybe infected CSF. This is option 2, as you said. And the option 3 may be xanthochromia from all the blood also in the CSF. So all the 3 possibilities that you gave, including all include CSF. So it's either CSF, infected CSF, CSF with all the blood. How I would answer this, just to make it simple. For me as a neurosurgeon, if I aspirate a cyst from the brain and this is the fluid, so first of all, I will think of infection or CSF infection, as you said, is important. It's not related to the organism. So somebody suggests Pseudomonas or whatever, it's not related. Infection usually makes CSF turbid. That's a rule. Number two, so when there is, we aspirate CSF and we ask, is it clear or not? Is it, if it's clear, so it goes more with non-infective causes. However, this does not exclude infection. At the end, you should send the CSF to the lab to have the full analysis. But an obvious severe infection, it's not there in a clear CSF. So my answer is, number one, it may be CSF infection. Number two, it may be all the blood xanthochromia, very rarely seen. And especially when we say it's, we aspirate this from the brain, because we usually for xanthochromia, we use a lumbar puncture after subarachnoid hemorrhage to diagnose subarachnoid hemorrhage. And the result will be a double color. So it's a two color, one clear part and one xanthochromic. So it's not like this, a full homogeneous xanthochromic. But yeah, definitely in the differential diagnosis, it's xanthochromia. But what my comment is, xanthochromia obtained after subarachnoid, after lumbar puncture, not a brain aspiration. And the second thing, there should be separation in the xanthochromia. That's all the option. It's never CSF. So for the first two answer, it's not correct. CSF is never yellowish. Okay, it's infected. It's not a normal CSF. Unless there is maybe there is high protein conditions which may be normal, and there will be a CSF also a little bit turbid or a little bit yellowish. So sometimes there is some condition of the brain or some systematic condition that increase the protein content of the CSF that make the CSF not clear. This is also to be added. One on the top also, it's a cystic content of a tumor. And this is just a direct neurosurgery question. If you aspirate from a cyst and you get the content of the cyst yellowish, so the answer is glioma. That's it. Okay, so a glioma, when you aspirate the fluid of a glioma, all the types, all the grade, may contain cyst and the fluid. If you aspirate the fluid, usually it's yellowish in color. So you try to put this in your differential that a tumor fluid, maybe glioma fluid, is a yellowish also. However, this exact one is never of all the differential that's mentioned till now. This is like more unique, more pathognomonic for a condition which is a tumor-like structure, or sorry, a tumor-like lesion or tumor-like cyst called craniopharyngioma. Craniopharyngioma, which is the only brain tumor that when we have aspiration of the fluid, we have very characteristic, we call it machine oil. Okay, so let me check this. Yeah, if you see the full description of this page, so it's from the Encyclopedia of Brain Tumor and Test Tube Cystic Craniopharyngioma Machinery Oil, okay, or machine oil, which is cholesterol-laden fluid. This is definitely a significant one, just to put it in mind with the differential of all the other. And as a neurosurgery resident, intern, whatever, you need to have all this in mind. And just my idea from this slide is try to broaden your differential diagnosis when you are dealing with the patient, because this is not about exam, this is about patients. So when you have a patient and you don't put this in your mind in the differential, this is a problem. Okay, so it's not either yes or not, just an idea. Then let's go to the surgery of this patient and have a little bit of the videos. And it's not imaging question now. I don't see the volunteer. They're ready to answer. And if you, by the way, if you have any question about what I just go through, okay, at the end of presentation, we can answer. So now we have this Sylvian fissure, because at the last time we described a giant metacerebral artery in the Sylvian fissure and the left Sylvian. So this is again the left Sylvian fissure. This is frontal, this is temporal. Sorry, it's not clear, but I try to bring some very short videos just to save time and create more questions. And yeah, I just want you to see, this is like the arachnoid, maybe, or a cyst, and there is something inside. And we try to puncture it. Do you recognize the color? So it's a dirty, oily machinery color. It's very characteristic. For me, it's like for board exams, it's pathognomonic. I just want to show you this again, just to put it in your mind that this is, okay. Sorry, yeah, this one. Just you can see the color. It's a dirty machine oil, or it's a machine oil color. It mostly goes with the craniopharyngioma, especially if it's in the ciliar or paraciliar area. When we go deep inside the lesion, you see the color now. I think it's more clear, more interesting, more strange. What's this? What's this sand color? What's this earthy color inside the brain? Yeah, this goes with the craniopharyngioma mostly. Like, and you can see the cholesterol inside. Yeah, this is just cholesterol. So this is one of the very nice, very important topics in neurosurgery. I would suggest to study a little about craniopharyngioma, because this is not the direct. And you can see the glistering of the oil. Okay. And it's not toxic. It's not like the hydatid cyst. It does not cause anaphylaxis. We try to do the maximum resection. However, it's not always easy in a craniopharyngioma, because it's adherent to the vessel and nerves, and usually we cannot remove it totally. And now this is very, very important. So at the end of this procedure, by the way, this is our patient. They send it, they suspect a calcified chronic aneurysm, and it ends like, no, this is a tumor, this is not an aneurysm, and the patient asked to be treated. Anybody can notice anything with this few seconds while removing those structures? I'll repeat it again. Yeah, anybody can answer directly. Do you notice anything? Answer directly without raising hand.
These are calcifications.
Yeah, anything more? Anything else?
The nature of the tumor itself it is so sticky.
Anything more? Anything else?
Like looks like stones or something.
Yeah, these are all correct. Again, anything more? Anything else?
A very irregular border of the tumor.
That's nice. Anything more? Anything else?
There's like no bleeding.
A craniopharyngioma is benign tumor-like structure. Usually there is no, it's not a vascular lesion. So it's not difficult to remove because it's bloody. It's difficult to remove because, as you see right now, it's sticky and adherent to all the surrounding. Still, this is not the question. I will answer now. I will put a 1 minute for a bonus. Any idea, any answer? Yeah, please. Unmute and answer. Yeah, I'm listening. Can you talk, please?
Maybe there's keratosis.
abscess wrong. Another suggestion?
Okay.
Maybe there's keratin nodules or keratinization.
No. Yeah. So I will answer this. Yeah. So the thing that happened inside the surgery is that this thing. Do you notice this thing?
Yes.
Okay. So it's hair, and that's it. So there is hairs inside the lesion. If you see this one. So from where these hairs are, it's not from the surgeon. So these like 4 or 5 hairs just stick out of the lesion. If you notice now, let's go to the tumor. Forget all your suggestion and now check the hair only. You see the hair? It's attached to the sucker, and there is another hair on the other side, on the right side, and still with the lesion, there is more hair. So anybody has an idea what does this change from the diagnosis point of view?
This is not the same craniopharyngioma we were talking about, I think.
I don't like politics. If you have answer, go direct.
So it could be
teratoma or dermoid.
Yeah, it's who said dermoid first?
I believe Jafar said first.
Okay. Yeah, so it's dermoid, but unfortunately, Jafar, you're late. Yeah, this is like just this 4 or 5 hairs. If you see it, even in the depth of the field, there is more hair. But this has changed the full diagnosis. In spite of we are 100% sure from radiology and from everything that this is a craniopharyngioma. However, hair does not ever occur in craniopharyngioma. And yeah, this is dermoid. As simple as that. As at the last steps of surgery, the whole diagnosis changed. The whole pathology is defined, and the histopathology of the lesion was a dermoid tumor or dermoid cyst. And by the way, it's of the same category of craniopharyngioma, of tumor-like lesions. But yeah, it's a totally different lesion, and all the imaging doesn't goes with the dermoid. And yeah, we are like, this is there is a multiple message in that we should stick to the scientific rules. We should broaden our differential to go through this, and we should have a checklist for everything. And however, like unexpected event can occur at any time. This is very unexpected event. However, it's not a reactionary like the ruptures that I show you before, that the rupture, intraoperative rupture or whatever. But however, it have the same drama for the surgeon. It's very difficult to us to believe, wow, this is just change. Like these two hair, can hair occur in craniopharyngioma? So we start asking big questions. And at the end, you know how I deal with this. We put it as a paper, and the paper say that a dermoid mascarded as a craniopharyngioma. So because this is the reality, like this is a craniopharyngioma until the last, let's say the last episode of a movie, or the last minutes of the movie, and at the end it's just to flip the name and it goes into a total different category. Dermoid in general, it's nobody can compare to tumors, which is the best, but however, dermoid has less benign prognosis for the future if it's resected completely. So that's very important. And yeah, this was very challenging. And if you add what I said before, that yeah, this patient already referred to us in a suspicion of a giant thrombosed aneurysm. And now we change the diagnosis and we are just laughing and wow, how all they think of aneurysm, it's just clear, it's a tumor. And yeah, this is a craniopharyngioma and we are fully confident. And all of a sudden, oh, we also going wrong with diagnosis and it's a dermoid, not craniopharyngioma. I think there is a lot of messages in this one. I will take the question later a little bit because I have, okay, I'll take these 3 questions. Yes, Zina.
No, I don't have questions, but I was the volunteer.
Okay, I will take you to the next to the next one. That's good. Nicola, do you have a question?
Oh no, it's the same as Zina. I just wanted to, yeah.
Osama.
Same thing.
Okay, that's good. That's my intention initially. I don't want the questions now. Let's have a thing I have in mind. I need how many? I will check how many I need. So I need 5 volunteers. Can I have? We have already 3. 5 only. Yeah. So Osama, Zina, Nicola, Taha, and Murtada. Sorry, Naba, I will save you to the next questions. I want you to think with me now. This is like a little deep, a little philosophical part of life, of medicine, of neurosurgery, of being a doctor, of being a useful in general. So what I want to do now, it's like, let's do an experiment. I have this experiment since like 4 weeks out of nothing. And I don't know why, but I feel it will give you some perspectives. What I mean by perspectives, which mean the idea from different direction. So what we'll go through is this scenario. We have a case and I want to see the 5. So we start first with Osama. So Osama, you are number 1. Then I say Zina, which is you are number 2, and Nicola, you are number 3. Then Taha, you are number 4, and then Murtada. Is that correct?
Okay.
So the experience is just simple. It will take like just a few minutes. The idea is that I want each one of you imagine yourself as this title. So in this case, I will give you a case scenario, which is just one case. And I want Osama to think like the patient's family. I want Zina to represent the anesthesia and to think like the anesthetist. And I want to answer, I want to know her feeling and her answer. I want to Nicola think like a resident at that moment, what he's thinking. And operative staff, Taha, you will be the operating nurse, let's say, and you represent their feelings, their understanding, their, let's say, questions. And Murtada, you are the surgeon. And I don't know who's the luckiest one of the 5, but we will start. So now you understand your role. I want you to think like exactly the title. Even the others can collaborate. But the idea for those 5, I want to thank you to think only in this way. You are only the thinking of the patient and family, like he's one of yours or one, this patient, let's say, but it's an imaginary scenario. So you are representing the patient family. I don't know, but you are not the lawyer. So the patient family, when you are talking after the incident and you have concern, the anesthesia that you should test the patient and decide that the patient is fit for surgery or not, because this is an emergency, obviously. The resident at that time, is he's happy with what he will do and learn, or he's afraid of something. Operative staff, they are happy or not, they are welcoming the case or not. And the surgeon, he's the luckiest one or he's the worst scenario. So the case, as simple, I will start with this. Obviously, it's a simple case. It's a simple injury. No, I'm kidding. It's a severe injury. It's a serious injury. And someone can say that maybe just beside the head, and the answer is this: it's inside. It's not beside. Okay. And if you notice that the patient is young, I can say he's a child. And yeah, I just want to think a few seconds for each of you and try to figure how you will answer me when I will go through each one of you and ask you, what's your main concern at this moment? What's your question now? And what's the most important thing for you? And just to make it more real, this is a real scenario. This is like, but this is for not mine. Thank you for, like, he's a big surgeon from the north of Iraq. He's Dr. Reber sharing this, and I'm happy that this paper is accepted for publication just now. And this is the patient. This is how serious the injury. This is the thing that entered the head. And you can easily see not only the blood, not only the skin that's widely open. How many wounds in the body can be like this widely open? But I can assure you that this is the brain. This is an exposed brain. Okay. And this is a real injury. Okay, so it's inside. We see it from different perspective. And now, my question directly to Osam. Now you are representing, or let's say you are looking to the case from perspective of the patient family. Okay, so my question is now, what's the most priority that you are thinking now?
If my child is going to live, that's like the first thing I'm thinking of. Is he going to survive this incident?
Yeah, I have a bet with myself that if he put himself in a family position, he will answer me with something like life or survive. And you are correct. Like, more than anything, you are not thinking about he can speak correctly again or not, or he can move his eyes, or his leg may be weak a little bit. No, the thing that you are really thinking of is that, as you said, survive. The second question for you is that you are representing the patient family. Do you have anything to ask about? Obviously, you don't have many choices in emergency setting, so you bring your patient, which is urgent case, to the nearest hospital. That's why I don't go through choices. But at this moment, you have the right to at least ask some important questions. What do you have in mind?
First thing, like, if my child survives, like, is he going to have any disabilities in the future? Since like it's a brain injury.
Second, any other question?
Second thing is that how am I going to take care of my child? I mean, if he's my child, and if he's ever going to leave the hospital.
Okay.
and if it's going to impact his future.
Okay.
But as like the patient's family, if I were to like talk to the doctor, I'm just gonna say, just do whatever is possible in order to help my child. I think that's like the most important thing. Like regardless of like the procedures, as long as the child comes out fine, that should be the priority.
Okay. That's a very good start. I have a more question for you. One more question when I get back from the surgeon question, from question 5. So thank you, Osama. I know this is not the easiest role play to do, but let's complete our story. Let's go to Zina. You are the anesthetist, and you have seen this patient, and you are the responsible one to decide is this child is fit for general anesthesia or not, and you are the one responsible to talk to the family about the risk related to anesthesia. What you have in mind as number 1? What's your main concern?
Is he fit for anesthesia? Does he have any diseases? Does he have asthma? Is he on medication? And how much time the surgeons needs to fix this? Is he survive it or not? And since it's emergency, so I think the time he did not, fast for 8 hours or something. So I'm thinking about aspiration, pneumonia, or something like that.
Wait, Zina. Can you repeat the question one by one and let me answer by one word?
The answer?
Yeah.
Repeat the answer. First is, does he
your
have
question? Yeah.
Does he have any diseases?
No.
Is he on any medications?
Whatever. Do you have any medication in mind that I will like leave the patient not doing surgery for him?
No. But just to calculate what is gonna happen and be prepared for it if he's
what you have in mind? Do you have something specific in
blood
mind?
thinners or something like that. So
sorry,
blood thinners or something like that to avoid.
Perfect. You are doing great under stress, by the way. Like, yeah, blood thinner, it's for the sake of patient. You are not delaying the surgery. However, I'm anxious about your many questions. You said I have one thing in mind, and you state 9 questions, and you have the role of anesthesia is just perfect. but yeah, it's out of concern. The third one.
How much time the surgeons need
whatever,
to fix that?
Whatever. I may spend 1 hour treating him. I may have bleeding and spend at least 7 hours. I don't know.
Okay. I think that's it.
What is the most frightening thing for you at the current moment?
What if he died inside the surgery?
How to prevent this?
I mean, do everything we can, and the results, it's not within our hands, I think.
That's a great message. I cannot go to the conclusion to emphasize this. I should stop with this comment that, yeah, your major concern is the patient will not die inside the surgery. That's very correct. However, to make the balance, to make all the surrounding understand that you are not trying just to protect yourself, that, oh, this may die inside the surgery, I will not treat him. No, you are not just protecting yourself. You are trying your best, because intraoperative scenario is the part that you are responsible of. So you are asking a question that's directly related to the intraoperative scenario, and you are trying to make death inside the surgery not possible. Okay, that's your concern. but it should be clear and obvious for everybody, for the surgeon, for the family. It should be clear from the start. Okay, I will give him the anesthesia. I want to make sure that he will have the best intraoperative course as much as we can. So please try to help me with this and this. Okay. However, starting questioning directly is just a return to everybody. Just a scenario. We are making a scenario. Let's go to the to the resident. Hi, Nicola.
Hello, doctor.
What's your number one in your mind? What's the most important now in your mind?
Okay, first thing I think is to take the child to the operating room and understand how the operation is going to be made, because I'm not only afraid by the situation he is in now, but I'm also afraid by what's going to happen when we remove that object.
Yeah, I bet for the term prepare. Like you are correct. You are definitely correct. As a resident, the most important thing now with this situation is how I can prepare this patient and send him for surgery, because this is your part of the full scenario. Okay.
Yes.
Another thing, what's the most thing that you are afraid of now? And I think this is very important.
If he is going to like if he is going if he is able to survive till entering the operating room, like stabilizing him until he goes inside the operating room.
Okay. And that's it. That's very nice answers. I will get back to you definitely. Let me go to the operative staff. Let me go to the nurse. Yeah, Taha.
Yes, doctor.
So,
First, yeah.
Yeah, when you there is somebody told you that we may have a case like this. What do you think?
Obviously, first I need to prepare and sterilize like all the tools that Ja'far may need as soon as possible, and like prevent infection in the surgery to the patient by sterilizing everything.
You can operate with non-sterilized instrument in such instances, by the way. So, I mean, okay, at least this is not priority number one. Priority number one, remove this object, because this is not the simple penetrating that we can leave it. Obviously, we should remove it. And we need to do hemostasis and then ensure the patient is conscious. So these are the main line. And with it, yeah, I can agree with you. The first thing you said is the preparation, which is the same thing said by Nicola. And this is the perfect thing, that the resident and the nurse should focus on only one thing, to bring the patient to the OR, and they are preparing everything. That's a very important message, because without this scenario, you are sitting here thinking that, yeah, the resident can do the same, the surgeon can do the same. No, everyone thinking totally different perspective. So yeah, I agree with you. Prepare. I would disagree with infection based on the urgency. However, yeah, if you are a good nurse, you will be extra care. You will have extra care to check everything, double, twice, 3 times, 10 times. It's up to you. What's the major thing that make you afraid at this moment, if you are the nurse, the operating nurse?
Like maybe shock or bleeding, internal bleeding.
Shocked and internal bleeding? What
like
do you mean? What's the meaning of this term for the nurse as a, what do you think?
I mean, it's not really a nurse thing, but like be with the doctor and check
Yeah,
his
try
check
try to think like a clear staff thinking, a nurse, whether operating nurse, rotating nurse. What's the major thing that they are afraid of at this moment in this scenario?
probably like infection, or I'll hand out all the instruments to the surgeon that he asks me, like the bipolar or
You
the
are getting to the right track. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like
like
the
be with him.
best. Yeah, you are perfectly correct. That yeah, this is the major concern, that they will be very angry, all the staff,
Yeah.
very anxious. I hope that this surgery pass peacefully. Okay, everything is working, everything is there, there's no missing things. So now you are hitting the bottom. Yeah, you are correct. This is the maybe one of the scenario of thinking. Yeah, and maybe death and trial. This is one of the things that you are also afraid of. Thank you, Tahir. Keep with us, and I will go to the surgeon finally.
Okay,
Murtada,
hi.
are you ready to be the surgeon for this case?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a hard situation to
what
be
do you
in.
have in mind
Just
now?
just imagining it is hard. I think it's from what I saw, it is a severe accident. So I'm concerned about if he's stable pre and during the operation, and try to um, uh, try to make him stable as much as possible during pulling out this iron thing.
No, this is not
Okay.
important. Like I'm not
Okay.
trying to say no exactly, no, but I mean, as a surgeon, your main concern now, what do you think with this patient, with this family, with this anesthesia, with this resident waiting, with this operative staff waiting? All the first four are waiting for you, and now you came and say, oh, number one priority for me now is to keep the patient stable. No, this is not the expected. If the resident say this, it's accepted. You are the surgeon, and
maybe
let's say, yeah,
I would talk to
Osama there representing the patient family, so he will ask you the next question. So I will ask you again, what's your priority now?
make him alive after trying to okay, maybe I'll discuss this case with an experienced surgeon, so he would be inside the operative room to
so this
yeah,
is like change the gear to plan B. No, this is a simple surgery, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
serious.
I think
maybe
the deep parts of the brain may be damaged.
Murtada, listen to this. This is a very simple surgery to do in general. However, this means this doesn't mean it's a silly injury. No, it's a very serious. But the management involve decompression, cleaning, hemostasis. These are the three. If you are facing something difficult intra-op, yeah, you need to consult someone other. So they try to find another priority. By the way, you are correct with all your suggestion, but I'm aiming to
if
a
he's gonna
specific
be
answer.
have a conscious is he gonna be conscious after the surgery if it's and not being
this
traumatized?
is the question from grandma of the patient. This is not from the surgeon. Is he gonna conscious after surgery? What? You're a surgeon. You have the decision now. You have to operate now. You have to decide where is this incision, what I will use, what are the exact instruments, who will be the operating, which resident you want to be with you, which nurse is with you, what are the time you will give to the anesthesia, and what are the prognosis factors that are important to you. And the most important, this is the answer, how I will talk with the family. Because your talk to the family will decide their acceptance for the surgery. You need acceptance of the family before the surgery. And their acceptance, it depends on your plan, your confidence, your experience. Do you get my idea, Murtaza?
Yes, yes.
So it's my point is that it's not about neurosurgery now. It's about managerial issues, about administration, about collaboration. You are the
Yes, I
only
get it.
person, you are the only person that you should be in the OR. All the others are optional. You and the patient are mandatory. Anesthesia can go for any reason, for an emergency, and anesthesia assistant can hold part of the surgery. Resident, sometimes you operate without resident. For any reason, there is like many other cases. Nurses, sometimes we operate without nurses. For any reason, there is such emergencies, many cases. Okay, you choose to operate the patient. You may be without nurses. And the patient family, definitely, yeah, without you. So you and the patient are responsible. However, you are number 5, and you are responsible for a perfect collaboration with the first 4. And do you know, Murtaza, I will add a factor. If the patient is an elective surgery, not an emergency surgery, you have 5 before you. Like we have 6, because the patient is there. The patient alone has his concern, his answers. He want his answer to his question, and the family are different setting. But here is the patient has no choice. So I thank you all for this till now. I have like 2 minutes more with you, then we will have a reflection. Osama, do you have the same concern now? What's your question to the surgeon?
If my child is going to survive the surgery itself.
And how would you answer, Murtaza?
What was the question?
You are already under stress.
Sorry,
yeah.
my connection is bad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, under stress, everything is just not perfect. So his question is that, is our patient gonna survive or what?
I'm not an actual surgeon, so I can't imagine what would I say. I don't know, really.
I'm really thank you for this. I don't know, because my answer is that is the residency. That is the 6 years that you must spend in OR, in emergency, in the intensive care. So you understand all these perspectives. And then now in such situation, you can stand and say, based on my experience, I do hundreds, and it's not difficult. It depends on the status pre-op, and this patient was like GCS 6 pre-op. So this is poor prognosis. However, I will treat this patient like my child. I will fight for him. We have the enough experience required, and we will do our best. Wish us the best, and we be confident for the family. Be confident that we have the experience required, and we will do our best. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not a claim. That's not a claim to be said. That should be based on a real experience. Okay.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
all the other, like if I'm talking to Murtada, who's the surgeon, so anesthesia, they know Murtada if he's fast or not. So many of the concern are not there. Okay. The anesthesia, this is very important for all of you. The anesthesia, they know Murtada. And they know Murtada have all the detail with history and examination and what are the drugs. And he is very oriented and he's examining every patient in detail. So the anesthesia will have less concern. Do you get my idea, Zina?
Yeah, I get it.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Actually, this is for all of you. I'm just trying to connection. The same for the resident. That this type of surgeon, I can call him from second zero, that you have such case. And he will help me and throughout the process, whether direct, whether by phone, or he's the surgeon that I'm afraid of. I should prepare the patient in one anyway. That's extra stress that somebody like Nicola in this example, Nicola don't want extra stress. Why? Because the surgeon is very, let's say, anxious and has a mood. What do you think, Nicola?
Yeah, I think that would also be one of my priorities, like knowing what the surgeon is gonna be in the operating room, and also preparing for him maybe to be anxious and stressed. So I should be prepared also for him maybe yelling if something starts going wrong. So I think a big part of the preparation is also emotional preparation in this case.
Yeah, you should be patient. You should be patient. Yeah, you are correct. And are you happy from inside that you will attend more surgeries and you will do more surgeries? Isn't it?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's truth. Yeah, you are saying the truth that yeah, from inside, yeah, you need this experience as a resident better than as a surgeon. I need to attend such difficult scenario, and maybe the surgeon in this case, he's the surgeon that's a real mentor for you, and he want to give you a good part of the surgery. So you are very eager to do the surgery at the same time.
Yes,
What
I think it may also, there may also be a bit of fear because of the situation, but yeah, it's better to be a resident than a surgeon in this situation. And so I would also hope to be with a really experienced surgeon to learn how to do an operation like this, and to be prepared when my turn comes to be a surgeon.
Exactly. And even that's like the theory part is important, and you should have very strong theory. So whatever the stress you have all the things and the guideline in mind. That's important. And also the experience. Many people talk about things and they don't do it. So experience, it's required. I would say something that this patient died. And at the end of surgery. I will start with number 5.
Okay.
What do you think? What you will do?
I would try to not affect my future surgery that I gonna have. Trying to learn what mistakes I makes him die, the patient, yeah, that's it.
That's too selfish. A patient died and you are the surgeon And then the answer start with my. I will not affect my other surgery. Wow, that's too selfish. I mean, it's I'm not talking personally. Is that clear? But like
Yeah,
from a surgeon perspective, no, you are not important at this moment. What's the most important?
Talking to the patient's family and
Definitely, there is a death,
yeah,
not
yeah,
not and. This is the most important. You should go. You should face this, the most critical scenario in your life, and how to break bad news. I think all of you study in the medical school about breaking bad news and the ethics. However, this is the time, because you are studying this as a resident now or as a student. Oh, the doctor should say this. It's easy. However, when you are the doctor, it's totally different. Okay.
yeah.
So your skills now, because this is also a skill situation, this based on experience, and this depends on your skill, how you are flexible, how is your the belief of the patient and the family in you pre-op now is the base of what happened now. Okay. So if they trust you, you have a good reputation of caring to patient. So the answer, I can help you with that, that you should go and say, we did our best, and however, he didn't make it. We are unhappy. We are very sad for that and for you. It's a big loss. We did everything possible. We are sorry. That's how we break bad news. For me, I will cry with the patient. I do it for every patient. It's not a mandatory thing, but for me, like it's personal. It depends on each surgeon. Now, I think every one of you should be asked, like the anesthesia now. Are you happy with what happened today with the call with the surgery? This, what you should do next time to prevent this. The resident, the same thing. It's not important to have more training with such disaster. However, you should be with the surgeon at that moment, just to be a real team, and at the same time to learn how to do things in those moments. The operative staff should be, it's very important. Sometimes simple leak, this is all over the world. Sometimes simple leak made a huge claim from the patient, from the patient family, and this just operative leak that one of the nurse, one of the staff, one of the anybody in the OR say that this is may happen due to something. Okay, and maybe this is not real. This is just extra chatting unneeded. So yeah, you should have the spirit of the team. So you have a concern about your effort and the surgeon effort and the anesthesia effort. And yeah, at the end, all of the five are like sad for the loss. It's now not the five that raising hand. It's that, like, for everybody, I want you to think like a 1 minute. Oh, if I'm the surgeon, if I'm the resident, because you someday you will be all of these. And because as a surgeon, you should understand how the anesthesia is thinking now, how the family is thinking now, what is the questions in the resident mind now. That's very important. That's the meaning of being a surgeon, especially during critical situations. I would not ask Osama about the family concern, but I would say for this part, if I am the patient family at this moment, I need something only, that I need to confirm that everything happened in the best way possible. At the end, it's something that should occur. I will agree. Okay. However, this is my condition, that everything happened in the best way possible. So back again, I will go to Murtaza. Murtaza, I will told you again that what we should say to the family, that we have the experience required, we will do our best, because this is also the end of a story sometimes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good news is the patient, this is post-op, this is the removed hook, and he's healthy, wealthy, has a little blurring of vision in left eye. Okay. I can see your faces now. It's very interesting. Look, you will see it in the videos. Patient is healthy, wealthy, very little, very mild blurred vision on the left eye, but he can see. And yeah, this is the Dr. Reber case, and he's doing a good job. This is from north of Iraq, but what made me use this case, because the eye closed, the severe injury, then the eye open. This is what I have in mind in this case. And yeah, you can lower your hand if you are participant. If you have a comment, I'm ready and happy to hear. Osama?
Should I reintroduce myself again?
Sorry?
Or no need? Should I reintroduce myself first, or is there no need since I already did?
No.
Okay.
Like with the start of presentation, that we have guests, so I'm happy with all of you, with all your affiliations, because yeah, this is what will make us proud, that this is documented on YouTube, and you and me will see this 10 years later, and we will be happy about these moments. So yeah, I'm listening.
So this is just some minor constructive feedback for Murtaza. So when it comes to breaking the bad news for patients, there's something called the SPIKES protocol. So SPIKES. So first of all, like, you start with setting. So you try to talk to the patient's family in private, and make sure that there isn't any interruptions while breaking the bad news. And then gauge how the patient's family actually perceives the situation. It's very normal for the patient's family to be in shock, because this is a very difficult situation for them. And also offer, like, once you're done explaining the things to them, offer the opportunity for the family to talk to you later on if they want to. And then just make sure that they acknowledge the situation and acknowledge your emotions. I think that's like one of the most important things. You have to be there for them in every single phase when they're coping. And then, like, at the end, try to talk, see if they want any consultations later on, or any psychiatric consultations, so it could, like, help them with their coping. But I think that's pretty much it from my end. But like, you as a surgeon, I think you need, like, once you talk to the patient's family, I think you do need to reflect on what happened during the surgery and any ways you could improve on yourself. That's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, Osama. I agree with you. Yeah, definitely nobody can say no to what you said. However, I will always give this an example, situations. Situational learning is the real learning. Otherwise, it's very nice to have mnemonics for guidelines to answer and MCQ questions, And yeah, you know that with the time, with the residency, you will learn this like like you learn your name. But what I would say is that every one of us as a surgeon, maybe in the future, will have his personal style and have his persona regarding this specific topic and how to manage difficult situation intraoperatively and difficult situation maybe post-op. Sometimes death, sometimes complication. It's always, there is a possibility. Yeah. Thank you. I agree with you, Osama. Totally agree. Abdulaziz.
Okay, doctor. I have a question about the perspective of breaking bad news. In fact, most of the surgeries in neurosurgery are high-yield surgeries. So maybe the medical error rate is relatively higher than other surgeries. So what about after breaking bad news? What are the medical legal issues that could happen to the surgeons? Even though he told the families about the possibilities of the surgeries.
It can happen. I would assure you, if you go not in the scientific way, but if you go in the full responsible way, like dealing with the patient, have the real concern of the patient, building a very good relation with your patient, because you are a surgeon, you are not your relation to the patient is just to prescribe a drug. No, he's trust you to the level that he accepts that you will open his head. That's the level. So this should be based on a strong relationship. That relationship will make everything evident. The preoperative course, what are the preoperative risks to having death, to having weakness? Yeah, this scenario, the patient will sign happily all these, and it's not happily, but will sign that, and he's convinced that he has a full trust in the surgeon. I think that's the message everywhere around the world. And when I say everywhere, I mean it. It's the trust. It's not about this one giving me more % of weakness, this one less. No, it's a building a relationship and the trust. I would say that in some instances, your scientific decision will support you, that for any reason at the end of surgery, the patient family want to claim to sue you for like he's not treating our patient well for any reason. Yeah, this can happen anywhere. And the answer is that there should be consultation from many experts in the field and have their decision. So whenever you are like with the guideline or based your exceptions and decision based on a clear indication, this makes everything easier in the future, even in the worst scenario possible.
Okay, thank you, doctor, for the clarification.
You are welcome. I would suggest you are studying USMLEs, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, because you say this is a high yield surgery. It's actually high yield, which means a good thing, which is a book rather than it's a high risk surgery actually. So yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Mohammed Al-Sando, do you have a question?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed Al-Sanduq, fourth stage at Neurosurgery University, Iraq, Baghdad. Doctor, my question is, who's responsible for explanations after operation? It's only the surgeon?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. My second, a lot of doctors in my university told don't be emotional with patients, don't sympathize with patients. In this situation, should I be emotional or it's maybe illegal according a protocol?
I would not answer such a broad question because the answer is there. It's very clear. Like once you are there, you will understand what they mean, but by getting very emotional with the patient. Because yeah, some situation you feel the patient has no border with the surgeon. You need to set border, and yeah, you need to keep the distance and your relationship with the patient. However, at the same time, you should show emotion and you should be a fully responsible person. So both what I say and what they say are correct. It depends on the situation and it depends on the perspective. Okay.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. I think the big message from today scenario is that with all the things that we discussed today about this case, just for an example, and it's simplified example, you can understand how many things can be misunderstood. Oh, the surgeon was thinking that the anesthesia already do this. Oh, was the patient was thinking. So many misunderstanding can occur at any stage. Good intentions, the availability, which is key number one. If you are the surgeon and you are available always with your patient, so the complication will be solved, the problem will be solved instantly. If you are not available, so this is a major concern. What I want to give you as a medical student in general, that this is how complex these situations are. So I think this will answer a lot of your question about what we should do. It's not what we should do. It depends on these 5 factors in addition to the science. I don't deal with science in this case. It's not about science. We do not discuss how we operate. I just say that the patient is okay. Everybody of you forget the procedure. Nobody of you ask what you do to the patient. You know why? Because yeah, the priority is to the outcome. Patient is good. These details are maybe important for the resident later to discuss. Maybe out of interest, the patient family will ask, oh, what do you do inside the surgery? How you clean the patient brain? Yeah, this is a secondary issue now. However, if without this scenario, I give you this case and how we treat as the X-ray, you will spend most of the time asking about, what about this? What about this? What about this? And if you compare it with the pencil case, you can consider what we are discussing today. Today, we are discussing a total different scenario. It's not about the scientific part. It's about humanity, about responsibility, about decisions. The hesitancy that Murtaba have or had in this scenario is very important message to everybody. He's correct. He's genuine. He's not trying to act like a surgeon, and he was hesitant to take many decisions, and that's very important. This hesitancy will support him with the next step. You are a surgeon. You should go to neurosurgery. Let's say, for example, a residency 5, 6, 7 years to be the person that can answer most of these questions. Nobody can answer all the questions, but most of the questions. Do you have another question, Mohammed, or this is yeah? Thank you. I think we are good now. Do you have a little more time, John, or? Yeah, I will finish. Unfortunately, I will finish this presentation with the last scenario, with a presentation, a short presentation from one of our students. And after this presentation, I have a quiz for you, just one question, and then we will finish. I'm trying to keep it as simpler because when I see the recording later, 3 hours, who's on earth can see something of more than 3 hours. Yeah. So Al-Kawthar, are you ready? Al-Kawthar, are you alive? Okay. The survival of patient is a priority. This is the message for today. Yeah. Do you hear me? I didn't hear your voice. You are muted. No. No voice. Say hello. Anything? Do anybody hear Kawthar, or is it just very fine voice?
It's very quiet, yes.
Yeah.
What about now? Can you hear me?
No, it's very far. It's like talking underwater. So Kawthar, she's basically from Iraq. She's now medical student in Azerbaijan, if I'm correct. Yeah, Baku, Azerbaijan. And yeah, I think she has a little different experience. We will go through her experience, few slides, few minutes, just to have more ideas. And yeah, you can share screen if you want and say hello just to confirm that we hear you. There is no voice, Kawthar. Make full screen, then try to do the voice again.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
It's very, very far. Change the setting, you're like the audio setting. It's common when you give your first presentation, usually something happened. No voice, something with the slides.
Can you hear me now?
How I deal with the family if the patient died in the operating room. Yeah, I think we answered this. And there is a huge message. It depends. What I put in my mind as a title for this case scenario is perspectives. Everyone has his perspective, and you as a surgeon, you should match those perspectives, and you should collaborate with everyone perfectly. That's your task. That's why you need a real a responsible person and to be a surgeon and to have the required scientific background, and at the same time you have the personality and how to deal with people, how to be a good how to build a good relationships and maintaining these are all task skills required to go, I think, for any surgeon in general. But as I always told you, I'm sharing from neurosurgery. That's what I know. Kathar, can you share again? She's signed out, then. Yeah, your voice, please.
Hello.
No voice. Hello, very thin hello. Change the voice from computer, from other thing. Go to the mute. Change the speaker. Go to test speaker and microphone. Yeah, say hello. If you are using headphone, change it. Very, very far. Hello. Do you have any question while Kauthar solving this? I think we have a time for at least one question. Just raise your hand or comment, maybe, not only question. I don't think that there's many questions. Otherwise, I want you just to have a time, I don't know, coffee, tea, and spend like a few minutes thinking of this scenario if happened to you or in front of you, and how I would be prepared. Because at the end, you are doctors and you will face this scenario in some way or another. And definitely thank you for the 5 volunteer. You did very well. And yeah, I think the focusing there is, yeah, coffee. I think there is a interesting collaboration. I'll try to make it a diagram, but I noticed that the resident and the nurse thinking of the pre-op, the surgeon and the family thinking of the post-op, the anesthesia thinking of the intra-op. So that's interesting, a priority. That's what I put. I will try to do a brainstorming for that with some of our interested students, then get with some idea about, definitely I will try to make it a paper, just with some examples, and it's talking about perspectives that's about priorities for the, let's say, for the neurosurgical team or surrounding a neurosurgical case. Kauthar, do you get a voice?
Hello, do you hear me?
No, no voice. That is very, very faint.
Okay, I will connect for the phone.
What's your comment, Jafar Abdullah? Because I see the full reaction. You are like I see your picture when I talk, so. Yeah, I'm listening.
A lot of thoughts actually. I minded myself in every position, in every. But the one question, a lot. But the one question in my mind is, I'm asking myself right now is, how could the man be to handle the situation, or what is the experience, what the time needed to be confident to talk to another human being suffering like this or being experienced like this. If I want something in my life, for all my life, it's something related to this moment. I know the experience is difficult of neurosurgery, but I'm accepting a neurosurgery because of that, exactly. Because how much time needed, how much experience needed to be in a mentality allowing you to handle the situation. So this is my comment, and this is I think my point of view to the talk previously.
Thank you. I cannot agree more. I just want to comment that how much will be the time required? The answer sometimes is very simple. Sometimes there is no time. Some people, like you may be just graduated with no experience, and you should serve a whole city. You are the only neurosurgeon in the town. So that's it. You are starting from day zero. It's sometimes require many years of experience. Sometimes, yeah, you just start the battle from day zero. So it depends. Thank you, Jafar. I know that you have many reactions. I see your reaction with the patient alive again. You are too happy. That's why I'm asking. Kauthar, do you have a voice, or we can visit
hello?
next time? Oh, yeah, hello.
Yeah, I changed to the phone.
Yeah, the same second that I said we can present the next time. Yeah. Welcome,
Okay.
Kauthar. I'm very proud of you prior to presentation, and I know how much you dedicate your time, and yeah, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So I am Al-Kauthar Abdussadeh, a fifth-year medical student at Azerbaijan Medical University, but I'm Iraqi-based. So my presentation is about overcoming the obstacles in the way to neurosurgery, because most of us are medical students, we are not neurosurgeons yet, and we face many obstacles in our way, and we wish that somehow anyone in the world that is facing the same obstacles as we are, and we are not alone. So this is the first presentation. It's not a movie cover, actually. This is my university because it's not very famous, so I put it here. And yes, after finishing high school at Iraq, I had to move to Azerbaijan. It's a former Soviet Union country. We have borders with Russia and Armenia. And this was the first obstacle, actually, but I enjoyed it because, as you see, it's a very modern country. They have European lifestyle, and they are very peaceful, and it was interesting at the beginning. Then in my second year, the quarantine started COVID-19, and it was very restricted at Azerbaijan. We can't go out, and unless we have 1 hour permission. It was okay until that, so we dealt with it, and then the war started. We had war with Armenia, and we couldn't even attend online lessons because the internet was bound because of the war. So I was alone there. I was living alone. I couldn't hear my family. I couldn't see them for 1.5 years. Then we didn't have a gas for cooking because the gas pipes were passing through the war zone. So can you just imagine with me the situation? A medical student studying abroad without family, without internet. I can't make contact with anyone. I was trapped there for 1.5 years. So I was trying to stay sane. I was trying to focus. What I did, this just reminded me when you are inside the neurosurgical field. You deal with the pure neurosurgical anatomy, and you are dealing with the pure science. You don't panic, and you are interested. Then when the patient is uncovered and is awakening, you realize that I was working inside a human brain, and you start to faint and you panic. The same thing happened to me. What I thought when I was trapped there is that this is time, and time is worthy for medical students. So I thought that I wasn't panicked. I thought that I was happy that I have more time because I was dealing with the pure neurosurgical anatomy. That was my mindset at that time. So after that, I starting to stay busy because this is the answer to how to cope in such situation. You have to stay busy. I was in the second year of medical school, and I was learning the vascular anatomy of the human body. So this was my sketches, and I was happy that I had time to play the guitar because I hadn't before. Then this 1.5 years ended, and I went back to my family. It was the summer, and I passed to the third year. I was looking for a change. I was looking for a real medical practice, not a prison. So I started looking online for mentors, and this is where I found. This is not a motivational speech. It's real, and this post really changed my life, and you will see that through the presentation. So I attended the Zoom, the online webinar of this mentorship, and it was really interesting. I directly contacted Dr. Hoz. I told him about my story, and he said, okay, you can attend every procedure we do. So this is the start. We started with attending surgeries, then attending endovascular procedures, then the practice in the lab, and also I made many friends that I didn't have outside. So it was very proud moments. Then these are, as you can see, Dr. Hoz explained the neurosurgical field. It was very difficult that day. And this is Dr. Alfa. She is in Japan now. She gave us a homework about doing mattress sutures, 50 mattress sutures, so that we can make our first intraoperative suture. And this one is really interesting because the patient was my father. He has a cervical lipoma, and Dr. Haider from the team operated on him. So this is the national centers in Iraq where I got my practice. As you know, I didn't have my medical school at Iraq, and it was all new to me. And as you are now, I was very excited to start writing researches, but it's not that easy. So I started with the paperwork, and I was preparing the teams who are attending, the new students, and I was also writing down the international collaborations and their names and so on. It was only paperwork. And these are the mattress sutures. After this moment, I was very confident of myself. Not when you, I think you will feel that when you have your first suture intraoperatively. Then theoretically, we started to study more neurosurgically. We started to make presentations, and I gave these 2 presentations in the previous mentorship. As you can see, I had so much surgeries. So before I go back to Azerbaijan, I documented everything, and I made these 2 logbooks, one for neurosurgical and the other is endovascular logbook. And incidentally, it was equal for both of them, and also equal for the neurosurgical procedures as vascular and oncology. So it was 4 months, and it was very rich experience. And I attended the OR, I attended the emergency room, the ICU, I attended endovascular procedures, I attended the lab, I met many people, and I attended many webinars. It was very rich experience, and I was very happy with it. But as you know, it was hard for me to adapt to everything. And this is my favorite quote: "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror, no feeling is final." Because my presentation is actually from a psychiatric perspective. We don't talk about these things generally, but I needed to say it because I think it's unique and someone somewhere may need it. So after that, I went back to Azerbaijan, but I keep my online connection with my mentor, and we started this neurosurgical club in Iraq. I was a founding member and the membership officer. And then I couldn't attend the conference that was held in Beirut, but I was looking for conferences in Azerbaijan. So I attended the Student Scientific Society conference, and I participated in it also. Then I didn't stop there also. I really was addicted to the OR. So I was looking for the surgeries inside Azerbaijan, and I attended also in the governmental and private hospitals. Then I was looking for the second mentor also there, because you can't just wait for the opportunities. You should make them, you should look for them. So I contacted Dr. Raouf, he's my second mentor. He had practice in Turkey and German. And the day I went there, I met this child. She was 2 years old. I asked about her case, and it was a 1-year follow-up. She had a schwannoma. So he said it was a very rare case. So I told him about international collaboration and about writing a case report about her case. So I collected the data. I had her pre and post MRI, and I had her reports, her examinations, her hormonal examinations, because she has hyperthyroidism, as you know. Schwannoma is a cranial nerve sheath tumor. So it arises from the Schwann cells that are covering the axons of the cranial nerves. But this case was very rare, that it wasn't attached to any. What?
Yeah, your voice interrupted a little bit.
When did you hear last thing?
With the cranial nerves.
Okay. Schwannoma is a cranial nerve sheath tumor. So it arises from the Schwann cells that are covering the axons of the Schwann cells of the cranial nerves, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was very rare case that it wasn't attached
So the
to
diagnosis is schwannoma.
It's ectopic schwannoma, yeah.
Yeah.
And because it was in the cellular region, it makes it more rare. As you see, it's located in the cellular region. This is the T1 and T2 and T1 MRIs, and it is actually constricting the third ventricle.
It's interrupted voice. Kauthar, it's going in and out.
Now, do you hear me?
Yeah.
I
Maybe.
think it's okay, Dr. Host.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is from my side.
I think
Okay.
so.
Continue,
Okay.
Kauthar, sorry.
Yeah, and you can see it's relatively large and it's cellular, located cellular and supracellularly, and it's compressing the third ventricle and also the chiasm, the optic chiasm. So the patient had visual disturbances. She also had hyperthyroidism, weakness, and strabismus. Post-operatively, it's disappeared, totally disappeared. It's a perfect tumorectomy, and the patient regained her full recovery, full visual recovery after 1 year. That's when I met her. Also, so I made a case report and the literature review. The total reported cellular schwannomas were 34 cases, but our case was the first one for the pediatrics. As you see, she's 1-year-old female. And it was submitted to the SNI. And this is the patient. This is directly post-operatively. And this is 1 year follow-up. You can see this video. Do you hear it? Or? Can you hear the video?
No, there is no sound.
Okay, he's asking her about the numbers, how much she saw. And she says 2 and in Azeri, as you know, in Azerbaijani language, and the 3, and she's counting, and she's healthy. So the reviewers' comment about this is it's an excellent transaction, especially in the perspective of a highly vascular and rubbery type of tumor tissue, and it's also a valuable contribution to the literature. Then I kept on, and I was attending surgeries with Dr. Raouf, and this was about the glioblastoma. Then I was practicing on writing researches, and these researches are submitted, and this one is published just last month. This is a routine Google search that we make in the beginning of the mentorship and in the end of it, and it's really an achievement in a few months. I was very happy with it. And unfortunately, the war started again between Russia and Ukraine, and you know, we have borders with Russia, and again, we boycotted the Russian products, and everything became expensive, and life became harder. I'm now in the 5th year, and then the the monkeypox was spread in one city here also, and it was quarantine again. And I'm not happy that I'm repeating the loop, but this is life, and you have to cope. You don't have to panic. You have to manage everything because you are a neurosurgeon. You are not a random person in the street. So the take-home messages is never ignore an opportunity, and I can add to this is never wait for an opportunity. Just make it and just look for it. And adaptation is necessary everywhere. As you see, I was far away, and then I was back to my country and I started to adapt. And mindset is flexible. You can't fix to an idea, and the journey is the fun. The arrival is just boring because it was really fun. It was hard, but it was fun. And it was an incident. If you notice that everything wasn't planned, I was just looking. I was just, it was an incident. And Dr. House usually says that honesty and good intentions are the answer to hope. So when anyone asks me how is that, I said it's an incident and it's good intentions. And thanks all.
Thank you. Do you hear my voice? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Kauthar. I miss, I think, the last 2 minutes of your presentation. I'm really proud of your experience. I'm proud when there is a patience, there is many stages, and the most important, it's different. That's what we hope for every experience, to be new, to be different, and also to be a patient experience. I mean, with a lot of patience, and it's not just stop after the first struggle. I'm really proud of you. I will be happy to listen to any comment from your colleagues, from the attendees. Jafar Hassan. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Jafar. I'm from Kufa Medical School. I've just graduated. Al-Kawthar, thank you very much for this really entertaining presentation, and also beneficial and very, very interesting. We all been into COVID and all these social and sometimes even healthcare related problems that kept us away from real learning. So it is relatable and all, and it's really good that you did take the opportunity into learning and progressing and not developing yourself, not letting yourself down, not letting this crisis affect you. So good job. The presentation was really fun. It had so many memes and all, and also I recognize that you're from Iraq, so you must know Arabic. You're speaking English in your presentation, and you have screenshots from your phone that is in French settings, and you have messages that was written in Azerbaijan language. So you have capability in many languages. That's a big go ahead for you. I have a few questions. Is that okay to ask?
Yeah, okay, go on. Thank you.
So the child, he had hypothyroidism since when? And the tumor, when did it first appear? What are the neurological findings in the child? Thank you very much again.
Thank you. So she's a female. She was 1 year old, and her mother noticed that she had strabismus. She didn't know why, so she went to the ophthalmologist first, and she told her that she didn't know the reason, so she should consider a neurosurgeon. She considered Dr. Raouf, and he made an MRI, and he found that she had a tumor located ciliary and extending supracellularly. The neurological examination showed weakness and visual disturbances, and the laboratory shows that she has hyperthyroidism, not hypo. And this is typical for schwannoma patients. Actually, she had similar presentation with the adult schwannomas, because this is the first case for the pediatrics, but she didn't have vomiting. That's the difference.
That's very clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Jafar. And Kawthar, I think we are expecting this paper to be published soon.
Yeah, because the reviewers were very happy about it. They said it's a great, valuable contribution.
So Jafar, wait for the full paper. I think within 2 or 3 weeks. That's my expectation.
Hope so.
Yeah, Abra. Thank you, Jafar.
Hello, everyone. My voice is clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Abrar. I'm a fifth year medical student from University of Baghdad, from Iraq, Baghdad. Thank you, Kawthar, for this presentation. It was really inspiring. Now, my question to Kawthar, we attended the same mentorship in the previous year, and we saw the consistency of Al-Kawthar in every time she will be there in the operation room. So actually, in the previous year, I had this question that what makes you in a really intimate relationship with the operation room and in this consistency, you know, like it's not just a curiosity for 1 or 2 time attendance. No, it's in a really consistent way.
Actually, I can say that it's my family support. Dr. has noticed that every time I attended the operation, my mother was waiting me outside, and my father also. So when you see how people are supporting you, you feel ashamed of yourself, and you think you are doing nothing. You should do more every time. So I was feeling sorry for myself. Like I was bothering them. They were attending with me, and they sent me outside. They were putting money on me, and because they know it's my dream. So how can you repay them? This is how we repay your family.
Yeah, kinda. That's right. You know, I'm asking that. I think everyone here could ask himself what makes a young medical student that be like this consistency, you know?
Thinking about myself, I think because I don't believe that I am an ordinary person. It's a matter of belief. So I believe I am not ordinary, and I should be not ordinary.
Thank you, Kauthar. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, you should feel proud actually.
Thanks, Doctor.
Thank you, Abrar. I think there is something related to the quiz. Once I get, I say there is a quiz after the presentation. My internet go out, and now there's an issue. I should go now. Sorry. So we will meet tomorrow at 3. I think tomorrow meeting is 1.5 hour maximum, because I have something urgent after that. It's not urgent, semi-urgent, it's prepared. So I will keep it more concise. If you have any question, you can post it in the related group or in the comments tomorrow. And I think that's the end. I hope you enjoy your time here. And yeah, thank you for all participants. It's not an easy thing, but I think all of us will be proud later when we see the recordings. I think later means 10 years later. We will be proud of this. Like, yeah, this is the beginning, and I'm proud of everyone who have a questioning, have opinion. Yeah, this is how we all of us learn together. And yeah, thank you for your time, and thank you, John, for being with us for the 3 hours. Thank you.
Great session. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.